All right, yeah, it's 6:30. We'll start the meeting. We do already have 2 executives. Is there a need for any other? Oh, and also, they're, can you tell me if they're legal?
Recording in progress.
Contracts, what are they?
One is for a pending court case, and the other one is for
Looks like personnel, right?
personnel.
So legal and personnel. Okay. All right, and any need to amend the agenda?
Motion to adopt agenda.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anything on minutes of September 4th, Select Board and Liquor Board? I saw nothing.
I didn't either.
Okay. Town managers report.
Did you guys want to make a motion for the minutes?
Oh,
You don't have to.
no, we don't, we never do that. I was gonna say.
We haven't done that in a
I know.
long time.
Can start.
Never done it since
Well,
I've
we
been
could
on the
start
board.
if you, yeah, I mean,
Signing it is the same as.
Right.
Same as, yeah.
okay.
Same thing.
All right. Highway Department has, well, they removed all the old sidewalk now from Depot Hill to Elm Street on Route 7. Their base material's down. We're hopefully going to have it paved next week. Pike's doing the job. Chad actually did some work on the south end of town in front of Mazzaroni's today, where the sidewalk
Oh,
wasn't.
that was us that
Yeah,
did
so
that?
he did half of it, and he's gonna do the other half tomorrow so that it cures so they can drive over it. Yep,
Okay,
and the
so,
Jersey barrier's gone down there too.
Oh, good.
so that was the change? He allowed it to happen now, or? what?
Yeah, he went.
Should've never
well,
disallowed
right,
it. I mean,
yeah.
it's town.
I know.
But I know Chad talked to, was Christina's wife?
Keith and Christine?
Right, yeah,
Christine, yeah.
and she was fine with it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Chad and I attended a VLCT webinar last week called Summary of Risk Management for Highway Supervisors. Focused mostly on VOSHA regulations for highway garage safety. We learned a few things on there, but we've had VOSHA people come not that long ago actually to give us a report on, and we fixed a lot of stuff there. Attended a public safety town hall at the fire academy, and actually Chief Hempel and Sean attended along with a few other folks from the fire department. Tim was there. He does dispatch in Rutland. This was hosted by the Vermont Public Safety Communications Task Force. The topic centered around communications and dispatch for first responders and what folks would like to see for a reliable statewide system. So the conversation actually turned into, when are we going to get something back in the Rutland area, because
Yeah.
we don't have one. The radios don't work that well. So hopefully they listened. We'll see what happens, but it's been a contentious thing for quite a few years, and we kind of wanted to stay on top of it, because at one point they were trying to put the financial burden on towns.
Right, 'cause I
So
remember we
we
figured
wanted
out
to
how much
see
it
where
was
that
gonna
was
cost
going.
us.
Right, and it was pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So that was not mentioned, but I think they've been doing this town hall around the state to see what the general consensus, and I think here they realized we need something back here, so.
Yep, okay.
Bridge 108 construction update. The continued demolition of the concrete beams on the southern end of the bridge. They poured footings for abutment 2, and this following week they're still gonna work on that, so a lot of concrete they're taking out of there. Liz has a rec report in here. I don't know if you want me to read it. It's pretty lengthy, but there's a lot going on, which is good. So, actually today she told me she went around to like Keith's and Kamuta's, because they're starting to do like a soccer club on Saturdays, and a lot of folks are coming in from like Virgins and Bristol and everything, just to
cool.
let them, be prepared in case we have
Yeah.
a good influx of people in town, so that's pretty
Good,
cool.
yeah.
That's really all I have.
Dave, what brought on this repavement where we couldn't do it before on the sidewalk down here? Where
So-
did that come from?
Well, we wanted to do it when we did the sidewalks
understand
last
that,
year,
yeah.
and something happened, and Mazzaroni's went out and told them not to pave it.
Right.
And we didn't know that until after. So, we had approval from the state to do the sidewalks there.
Yeah.
So we decided to fix it this year and get it so the
Our
sidewalk can,
decision to get it
yeah,
done.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, so,
Maybe that'll help some of the.
Well, it's
Well,
good,
I
because
don't
it was
know.
cracking otherwise
will.
with
Yeah.
that, with that
Yeah.
gap missing. It was just, it was
Yeah.
a mess.
so that's why
So-
Chad only did half of it today, so it would cure up enough before they do it. And he said he put it down pretty thick, so
Good,
it
yeah.
should hold up.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I noticed that she plans on painting the outside of the building in like November.
I saw that.
Oh, the bathroom building? I don't think they'll be paying in November.
Well, somebody might wanna run by if she better get started.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go a little earlier than that.
Yeah.
I thought the same
Might
thing.
go on a
about
little
it.
thick. Yeah,
It might.
It'll dry by February,
right.
maybe.
Yeah.
Probably of, I'm sorry, did you have something else?
No.
Probably worth mentioning publicly is on her report is that tomorrow is the senior luncheon at the rec, but it's also the it's Community Health Day too, and they're doing free vaccines. For,
Yeah, we've got some posters hanging up all over town with that too.
and I think that's 12 to 2. All right, anything else? Any other questions for Dave? No?
Oh, we're
Uh,
probably looking at closing the swimming area after this week too. We've kept it open because it's been warm out, but
85
nobody's
degrees.
using it, so.
Not using cold.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hurting anything to keep it going, but, well,
You mean you're actually gonna drain it next week?
I don't know. I think we're just gonna stop testing it and say it's not open.
Yeah, they're
anymore.
gonna test it.
Yeah, we have to test it if it's open. So, I mean, it doesn't cost us that much to do it, so I think weather
It's the middle of
permitting we'll
September.
watch,
It's gonna
but
be.
Yeah.
the cold nights have really cooled it down and
You
there
gotta
hasn't
go
been
tomorrow.
much activity there, so.
That's cool water even in hot
Yeah.
summer.
I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Any select board member remarks?
When's this gonna take effect, this sewer thing? Is there any date on that?
So we're looking at possibly next month. The contract's good till next June anyway. Markowski, we've been talking to Markowski's on, so they've been getting held up in Killington. Plus it's been crazy getting materials, which I'll tell you on another one in a minute too. So they were gonna start this month, but Tom called and said they're hopefully in October, but weather permitting,
I was gonna say,
they might be able to work through the winter on this too, so. And then we can pave in the spring.
That'd be good.
So Whipple Hollow, we have a culvert there that has to be replaced, and we're still waiting for the baffles to show up at Webb to build the culvert, and once that's in, they'll put it in, and they'll be in a couple days. And then we'll pave, the 2-mile section of Whipple Hollow, so. Yeah. But it's been hard, like, just getting stuff that you think is
Yeah.
easy to get is not so easy anymore.
If we have a longshoreman strike here on the East Coast, which you're
Yeah.
talking about right now, we're not gonna get anything.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even hear of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna be a big problem.
Yeah.
Uncle Joe won't get involved.
You better make sure if there's something we absolutely have to have on the garage, that they think about getting it ordered now.
Usually the companies that we get culverts and stuff from call us and say, hey, we know something's in the works, order some now.
No, I kinda mean about anything they're gonna need for winter, that, you know, you've gotta get it ahead of time, you might wanna be getting it now.
We're good on sand.
Won't get it anyway, 'cause it's October 1st, they're threatening it.
Yeah, we're,
Start now, you get what's on high hand.
we're good on sand, and our salt comes out of New York, so, that's all truck transportation.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're ready.
That's good to know.
yeah. One thing after another.
All right. Any public comment?
I actually have 2 questions. One, Tommy, you might know, why are there no county 911 centers?
Why? Because the state, sent it down south of Shumlin. That was a Shumlin deal, what, 7, 8 years ago?
Yep.
We fought that,
Anyway.
went to Montpelier, the whole county fought that. It was,
They consolidated.
Between Rockingham and
Rockingham.
There used to be 4 in the state, Joe, and they shut 2 of them down
Shut 2 of
7
them
or 8
down.
years ago. And one was in Rutland.
And they shut the Rutland down, which has been a total disaster since.
That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, it doesn't. It was gonna save us $3 million a year. Ended up costing, I think, $8 or $9 million a year.
Jeez.
I don't know what it's cost now, totally, but
Well, plus at the same time, like one night I heard a chase going on. Dispatch was like, what town are you going to?
yeah, they have no clue.
Right.
Even though they just said we're north of Pittsford, heading for the town line.
Yeah,
If you're from the area, you know you're entering Brandon.
They don't know that now.
No, I know.
Right, it's like, wow, they don't even know where they're going.
Oh, it's scary.
Nope.
And they're having, dispatch is having the same issue as everyone else, keeping
Oh, yeah. They
employees.
can't
and
keep
it's
help.
It's been a bad thing, well, ever since they closed it down.
Yeah. Been a fiasco ever since.
Yeehaw.
Another state-run thing that
Yep.
didn't work as usual.
Right.
So hopefully these town halls that they're doing around the state are
They
gonna
should.
fuel something. I mean, they didn't have to guess what people were thinking down here last week, so.
I'm sure.
I'm sure they didn't.
Yeah,
That's good, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, I know a lot of departments that want to say like out that way towards Middletown Springs and whatnot. I know they got major communication issues. I'm actually surprised there isn't like a field comm unit or something when they have structure fires or something to be that patch.
A lot of that actually gets dispatched out of New York now.
Yeah,
Washington County.
Yeah, Washington
or
County. I
whatever.
know the Fairhaven chief of police was there, and he was talking about how it works better when it comes out of
Washington
Washington.
County, yeah.
But wait, I thought we dispatched Washington County.
No, that's New York.
So when I'm listening to Washington County on our frequency,
That's Washington County, New York.
That's New York.
oh, I thought it was the other way around. We were dispatching them, which
Nope.
didn't make sense to me either, why they didn't have their own dispatch
Nope.
center. They just share frequencies.
Yep. No,
Okay.
they're running the radio over there.
Okay. Second question I had, you made mention, Dave, of a soccer club that's coming on Saturdays. Where are they from?
It's like a group soccer, so it's just gonna be schools and areas get together and they.
Oh, 'cause
I don't know the specifics on. Liz just told me
Well,
about it today, so.
Jake is in the soccer,
Yep.
and for some reason, everybody's games are all up in Brandon. Whether it's Rutland, whether it's Proctor, and
I think
and
it's-
everybody, for whatever reason, and they're all on Saturdays, all the games are in Brandon. We have no games here, and we have two fields that could be used.
think
But
it's-
now that you
yep.
made mention of a soccer club that's coming and playing here, then I guess somebody else is using our field when we could be using
I believe it's
Well-
based on age for.
Well, yeah, it's in here. So
Yeah.
U10 games are all in Brandon, U12 are all in Pittsford.
Yeah.
I don't,
Why?
I don't know the whys, I'm just saying that's, that's how it's worked out. So there are for U12, they're all here. So,
And some of those are rec teams too, and
Yeah,
not
right.
school affiliated.
right.
Right.
I think they're all rec.
These are all rec teams.
At the elementary school
And I mean-
level. Yep. So,
What else say?
all right, anything else, Joe? Okay, we have no old business, new business, Silloway Networks
So-
quote.
In your packet is, well, I'll give a little history. We know Vermont Digital closed, and we kind of left without any IT services and some other things. Made a call to Silloway. Dean and Angie came up with this quote. Dean's here tonight to discuss it. I know there's a little sticker shock on this, and Dean's gonna be here to answer questions and talk about why some of these things are, what are needed in this day and age.
Okay. Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So I'll start with, we support several towns. And a lot of what we recommend for towns now is driven by a state survey that I believe happened in 2019 that made a series of recommendations to towns about how they should handle their IT. So what we essentially have is a package here designed around the recommendations they were making back in 2019. Which I think are still very applicable. Speaking to some people at the state, I believe, I thought it was going to be this year, maybe it's going to be next year, I haven't talked to the guy recently, but they're going to be coming out with a new set of recommendations.
Oh, okay.
So, the software that we provide as part of the IT services, Microsoft 365 is at the core of it, which holds the email and the shared files. One of the things we're doing with that is how we back it up that I believe you're not doing this right now, for the sake of records retention that's required for towns, like for all government agencies, I believe, we use a product called Drop Suite Government, which meets those retention requirements. So for record retention, I believe, like if David emails something or if David is emailed, you're supposed to retain those. I'm not sure for how long myself, but we're relying on Drop Suite to do that retention. That means he can delete it, he can empty his deleted items, we can still recover those.
Okay.
The antivirus that we provide includes ransomware protection. We are also monitoring it 24/7. We work with a vendor. It's a managed detection and recovery product, so it's watched 24 hours. If there were a breach, and I'm asleep, they're responding to it, locking down that computer. We are email security. Phishing is a common threat now, and one of the things we've run into working particularly cyber insurance companies, if David were to receive an email, a malicious email, not realize it, follow a link, his email gets compromised, he starts sending out emails where then you're picking up liability for anybody that receives that email if they get compromised. Even if he doesn't lose any money, it goes down the line. I've worked with companies that have lost. I think my biggest breach so far, this was before I got involved. I got involved after the fact, but $500,000 was transferred.
Wow.
So we do phishing training. There is phishing protection on this, where when you get an email message, it will let you know, hey, this is a message from David Mills. It's from an address. You have not received an email from David Mills before, be careful. Or
okay.
You've received a message from Dean Silloway. You've never received a message from him before, be careful. It'll block obvious phishing messages. We also send out monthly fake phishing messages to train the staff to recognize this is what a phishing message is. If they follow the link, they get a slap on the hand and you need to watch a training video. If you correctly identify it as a phishing message, you get a good job. These are things that the state recommended back in 2019.
Okay.
So all of that is, kind of as part of this. The other thing we do, and this is a model you'll see, this is not the model you had with Vermont Digital. Vermont Digital would come in and bill hourly. We're billing a fixed price for monthly support. They can call us as much as they want. For their PC issues, there's certain things we don't cover under that where we have an hourly rate, and I would include things like your video conferencing system here. We don't have expertise in it, but we know how to support it. We would bill something like that hourly. I believe we're not including the police department in this proposal. Is that correct? I forget.
I thought we were, actually.
We were including that? Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm not sure if the numbers match up for us covering the police. We are CJIS certified. We have 3 on staff that are CJIS certified. So we're already set to access the police computers. We support Virginia's Police Department. The fixed price model. There's a reason Vermont Digital went out of business. That they were not properly billing for their services. They were also not proactive about their support. I've taken over a lot of Vermont Digital clients in the last 2 years. You were responsible for your backups. They would set up the backup system. You were responsible for your backups. We've gone into multiple clients where we found out that the backup wasn't running properly. We take responsibility for the backups. You were probably responsible for your antivirus as well, I would suspect, where you were responsible for the subscription, and you would need to let them know if there were any issues. We're monitoring that on our side, not only if there's a breach that needs to be addressed, but if there's a computer that we're supporting where the antivirus isn't working right, we get notified on that. So that's why you might get a little bit of sticker shock on here, because we're approaching this completely differently, where we are your full-time IT department, rather than, call us when you need us. And I'll say that there's several companies in the state that do this. I am one of the last in the state that is locally owned. Most in the state are now owned by venture capital or larger companies. So I live in Pittsford. All of my staff now lives in Vermont. I used to have a main employee, but all of my staff were right out of Rutland. We're local, we're close, and can get here quickly. That's it in a nutshell, and I'm glad to answer any questions you might have too.
I went through this before with Dean and Brandon, so I know, and we did get a ransom attack there,
Yeah.
and it was before,
Right.
and we found a lot of holes in the system, so, and I know that Helen and Liz are doing the backup stuff now in the town clerk's office, so, but like, we've been paying Vermont Digital to come do stuff, and then our emails are separate from that. It's kind of a mishmash
Yeah, it's
together
nice
right
to have it all
now.
consolidated.
Yep.
Kinda makes sense.
It's, there's no other way to put it, but, and don't take this wrong, Dean, it's a necessary evil now.
No, I mean, I
you
know, so this is the total per year?
Per month.
Seven,
Oh, no, 7,000 is to set it up.
What's the-
No,
what's the-
It's right there. It's light, it's very lightly colored.
is that why I can't see?
It's 5 digits.
Right up
It's very
top.
lightly
Right
colored.
up
So
top.
monthly
Right
recurring.
there you go.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
1360?
Yeah.
I wish I'll say we're using a quoting system that I wish we had more control over, and we're giving two options for the 3-year and 1 year. So just recognize there's a 3-year commitment price, and then there's a 1-year commitment price. Those are separate. And then,
Well, I see it on
kind
this
of
front
after that
page,
is
but-
what we would be doing kind of overall, like the advanced, I'll say the Advanced Productivity and Protection Suite, that's the software, not that you're taxable, we break that out because that's the item that we need to charge tax on. The managed services is kind of, us, that's essentially the labor portion of it. So what you're really looking at is the managed services, which is a monthly number, the Advanced Productivity and Protection Suite, which is a monthly number, and then there's essentially a project mostly to move you to Microsoft 365 and configure a firewall for you, which is a separate one-time price. I think we put a switch in there too. Yeah, we'd have a switch in there just as a product to, that's just another piece. It's manageable switch, so it gives us the ability to kind of see what's going on remotely over what you have right now.
So you did say that, so this is based on 2019 state recommendations, and you said you anticipate newer ones? How much different do you anticipate? No idea?
It's funny because I am eager to see it come out because I don't know what they're going to recommend. I'll say that the package that I have here, the only difference from what I offer my regular customers is the government Microsoft 365 backup, which does the records retention you need. Otherwise, this is what I offer to all my customers, and that is really based around cybersecurity insurance requirements, PCI requirements, HIPAA requirements that I'm hitting with these other businesses, which can be really strict. I'll say stricter than the state. So I would be surprised if the state is going to be making any recommendations that we're not covering. I'll say the more that time goes on, recommendations change, across all of those things that I'm covering. So it's a moving target.
Yep.
That's really the other thing that you're paying for here is I'm watching that moving target and modifying my package as I need to meet those requirements.
Okay.
So I guess I'm not, so you said there was a difference if we sign up for 1 year or 3?
Correct.
Those numbers, I guess I'm not finding.
Yeah, very hard to see.
I'm not sure that I have the same printout that I do. You'll see managed services 3-year commitment quantity 17, and then managed services 1-year commitment quantity 17. The difference is $80 a device versus $110 a device. Is that on your printout or no?
It's on the second page, yeah, sure.
see if we can just-
Oh, right here.
I'll have the 110.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, and there's the
Yep.
other one.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
So
yeah.
there's,
It's not.
That's the light one you're seeing, because
okay,
what he
all right.
printed off has
Yeah,
the
1
3-year
year.
commitment
right,
selected.
yeah, there's two different scenarios on that page.
Yep.
I see.
Okay.
Hard to see them.
yeah, I know, it's super,
Down here, yeah,
super late.
right, very late.
Dean hit all the prices in very light ink.
On my
Well,
phone,
no, I looked, of course, at the bottom line initially, and I'm like, why is everybody saying this is sticker shock? I was like, that doesn't sound bad. Then I looked up and saw what it was for the year, and then I said, okay, that makes more sense. So, yeah. So on this last page, that big number that we're seeing is the 3-year contract, correct?
well, on the last page?
Yeah, what's this?
So on the last page, you'll see monthly recurring investment, 2412.
Yep.
Right?
That's the 3-year commitment price.
That's
The-
okay.
The one-time investment of 512902, that's kind of the one-time price that's migrating to 365.
Yeah, that's
Doing the-
set up.
That's essentially
That's a
the
setup.
setup
Right.
cost, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Understand that.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
what David can do, what you're not seeing there is the one-year commitment price, which would be more monthly.
Okay.
And you think this includes the police?
It's got us.
We looked at police when you were here, right?
We
Yeah,
did
yeah.
look at police.
Yeah.
It would be the computer count,
Right.
so,
17 computers? It's
I've
gotta be the
done
police, too.
quots for 4 towns
Yeah, it would have
recently,
to
and so I've
include-
had this conversation several times.
Would have to
I
include-
specifically remember, it's 17 computers, which,
It would
that
include
sounds like
PD
that
then.
would be included in
Yeah, it
police.
includes
I would think
PD.
so.
Yep.
Yep.
Geez, I didn't even know we had 17 computers in this building.
Yep.
So it's about
Well, yeah, but
142
you got
computer.
other, you got like the
I-
town garage.
Yeah.
and
Wastewater, water.
Water, yeah.
So the 7,736 would be the first fee, including the one-time investment? Do I have that correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monthly and the one time.
That's essentially, that total is the first month plus the one-time
Plus the
investment.
Plus the setup.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then after that was the monthly fee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the way I understood it.
So it's basically a little over 300 to set up these computers each, and it's about a 142 a month for the service for 17, right? That's my,
Well, the monthly would be, at the 3-year commitment, $1360 a month.
what's the 2412 then?
Right, 24, where are we looking at 2412?
Last page.
2412 would be the 12-month.
24, monthly recurring investment. Where-
That says
hold on.
total 12
Oh,
months.
Okay, that 2412 is the 1360 plus the advanced productivity and protection suite
Yeah.
for the 14 and the 4 for essentially the taxable items. So your monthly total is that 1360 plus the advanced productivity and protection suite, which is Microsoft 365, Drop Suite for backup, Iron Scales for, that's the phishing protection, Sophos, which is the endpoint protection, the antivirus. We also, I didn't talk about this, we put Connect Secure on there, which is a program that scans every computer for software vulnerabilities. So essentially unpatched software, and lets us know if anything is vulnerable
No,
that we
that's
need to
without the
address.
add-
We also, I'm forgetting
That's without
something,
the
we're putting Ninja on there, which is remote monitoring and management, which what that does is lets us remote control the computer, it lets us remotely install software on the computer, lets us inventory the computer, it warns us if a hard drive is failing, if a hard drive is full, if there's performance issues on the computer, and it lets us remotely support it easily.
Okay.
So we're talking 1360 a
Dean,
month,
just so
right?
we're clarified,
2412.
2412.
1360
That's,
is for
You're
the
adding
basic
on. Okay,
3-year
all right.
commitment
Yeah,
on the services.
Yep.
For those add-on parts, it equals up to the 24.
Correct.
Yes.
The
All right, I got
the apps, you need both, I break it out for tax
Gotcha,
reasons. Yep.
okay.
Yep.
So basically, we're looking at 142 per month per
Per
computer. And then to set it up, we're at 300 per computer to set up with this stuff. I don't think that's outside the normal, what I've seen.
I don't have a frame of reference,
Yeah.
but
I don't either.
Yeah, it's what it is today.
It is,
I know.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
necessary, we can't do anything without computers, and we
Huh?
can't be
A lot of work.
vulnerable.
That's a lot of work.
What's your recommendation, Mr. Town Manager?
Well, like I said, I've been through this before, and it was a tough decision for me to make back when we did it the first time, because I'm a bit frugal. But I know what it happens if you have an attack too, and
It's a huge.
that,
That's a huge
that,
price.
there's no monetary value you can put on that when it happens, because you lose data.
Yeah.
Can't afford to do
I've heard
that.
you talking about this before, hiring people and retaining people. that's a challenge for me too.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it's to keep those good people, and honestly, right now, I'm working to move away from that Vermont digital model. I've been moving away from that for a long time. I don't want to, get too close to them there. But the model we're shifting to, that we're seeing here, really lets me have qualified staff that aren't crazy busy, which was an issue with Vermont Digital. I know that's why one of the people left. He was just too busy. Lets me have qualified staff that aren't too busy, so that we can respond when, we can respond quickly, whether it's an emergency or
Yeah.
just something quick and easy.
And just thinking of when the town of Norwich had that issue a few years ago where there was like this scam email that came from manager to the clerk saying issue some check for blah, 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 and they just went and did it, and it was a lot of money. And I know that was in the news for quite a while, so, the vulnerabilities with municipalities is crazy lately.
No, I
We're also
know.
talking about a lot of people's information.
Well, look at it, and I mean,
Not just a couple.
everything you guys see in this package is there, so, it's,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's more peace of mind too at
So
this point.
we're not covered right now, is that correct?
We don't have anybody
Yeah,
right now.
right now.
Vermont Digital closed their doors.
Shut the door.
6 days notice.
We didn't get any notice.
Oh, you didn't get any
No.
notice?
I mean, we've gone through emails and looked, and we can't find anything.
Huh?
So,
So
are
I-
you saying we don't have any protection?
Well,
You don't have any computer support right now.
No
You have
support.
some form of
Computer support.
antivirus.
We just have what's
I
been
was getting
installed,
panicked there.
No, we have some
So
protection.
what's
Right.
the timing if we went with you?
Good question. I would say that we would
Before we were up?
we would immediately be able to say, if you have a problem, call us. Honestly, with Vermont Digital going out of business, that's put some stress on us, because we've been busy since the end of July pushing out proposals for their customers. I would say we would be onboarding you towards the end of October, beginning. If I had an okay tomorrow, we'd be onboarding you end of October, beginning of
I
November.
thought that was an overnight bag, Dean.
Ready to go now.
He's a Boy Scout, always prepared.
That's right.
I will make a motion to do this. I don't think we have a lot of choice.
I'm gonna second that.
And I've known Dean a long time.
Yeah, well, that's,
He
I like
will-
that he's local and.
He will do what we
Heard
need done, I
good
think.
things.
You know where I live.
I do know where you live.
It's in the record. It's anywhere.
Well, yeah.
We all can find out
Yeah,
where
well, I
you
can
live.
find it quicker than going to the records.
Any further questions or discussion?
What were we paying with Vermont Digital?
Well, so I actually have what we paid last year for stuff was about $6,500. And that's really,
And I'll say, that's probably not all-inclusive as well, because you're probably paying for your email separately.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
The
paying for your
email was-
antivirus
Yeah.
separately. This is-
Yeah.
Wasn't the police department separate too? Did they
they,
have to be separated?
well, they have to have the whole NCIC thing, so
Right.
I couldn't do anything to it, and,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't have the email thing, I could break that one out, but yeah, I mean, every year we have to update that, and,
So we don't know how much of
Excuse
a
me.
price increase that we're looking at.
quite a bit, I mean,
Well, it's quite a
Oh, yeah,
bit.
It's pretty close.
But we
That's
weren't-
close
we
to what
weren't getting-
budgeted, that was somewhere
probably
around there.
18,000. But we weren't, this is not, it's not really comparing apples to apples here either, so.
Right.
Well, I'm coming in totally in the dark. on
Yeah, no.
This kind of stuff. so.
Yeah,
Now, this is a little over probably what we budgeted, but
I mean,
it's
it's-
logical
this
that
is
we need
important
to.
stuff, yeah.
Now, this is,
Gonna be money well
Yep.
spent.
yeah.
And so your motion is for the 3-year commitment?
Yes.
Okay, we have
I
a
hope
second.
so.
Any other questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Okay.
Ron,
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Computer's right in my office.
I'll take my leave then, and I'll take
Yeah.
you.
All right.
we got cots
Sounds good.
downstairs, I can just bring one up.
Have a great night.
Yeah, you
Thanks,
too.
Steve.
Bye.
Take care.
Lost my agenda. Okay. All right, Otter Creek Watershed Insect Control District, the longest name for any committee on.
I still
or
call
group
it
on
the
planet.
BLSG,
Yeah,
I
just
don't
the.
So, I received this email on the 12th, that went to the treasurers too, and I don't know how we're paying them now, but there was this thing where they're asking if the boards would
Quarterly,
consider doing quarterly payments to the bug district. It's easier to say.
Once a year, right?
Yeah,
I think
right
it's
now it's
once a
once a
year.
year.
Lump
Hard,
sum a
it's
year.
hard for them
Yeah.
to,
Right.
I can see why.
I think it's
I thought
easier
they
for
were
them to
being-
budget.
Yeah.
Being paid quarterly at the end of the quarter, and then they wanted to be paid rather than arrears up front or something. And
I
that
think
shot
we've
down.
been doing
I
one
think we were just
payment.
doing one payment.
Payment,
And now
I
they
believe.
At the end of the year or the beginning of the year?
It's like
That
the
I-
middle
I
of the
just
summer, if I
don't
remember right. It was an
know.
oddball
So it
time.
must be some end or beginning of fiscal year then.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Probably, well, it'd probably be after July 1
That's what I
because
would
that's
think.
when
I think so.
the funds
I
would
think
be.
that's what it was. 'Cause
Yeah.
to me, it
Yeah.
would have made more sense to have paid them like March, so they could get all their
Get their
stuff
stuff.
out ahead of time.
Exactly.
Right.
And I know it was always funny we were paying them when we were, but it's probably beginning of the fiscal
Yep.
year,
Yep.
middle of July.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And in one of their presentations, they did ask
to do it.
that it was
Yeah.
going to come forward
Yeah.
when they got their matrix in place.
They've asked for it a few times. I know that through the years. So
Yeah, it's easier for,
They never
Budgeted.
sprayed this year.
so they did,
Yeah, they
one,
do.
at least once,
They never came past my house.
no.
yeah, I know they had
That's
an
what I
email
heard.
out last week or the week
By
before
mine.
they come
They
out.
did most of Pittsford recently, yeah.
They did it more than once.
Maybe,
Oh,
I
it's
know,
been
I just,
mine
it was
more
at least
than once.
once, I don't, it wasn't as much as other years though, because I know I've heard some, just like, people have been wondering why we pay the X amount every year, and like this year, people feel like they, got ripped off because they didn't spray that much, but that has to do with weather, and it has to do with mosquito
Oh, yeah.
counts, and
Right.
the
How they
larval,
test,
the
yeah.
larval
They
pools.
can't just
And
do
also,
it.
it all really comes out in the wash, because then there was
Complicated.
like, what was that, 2 years ago? I swear to God, they were
Right,
spraying
every
every
day.
week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, a week at least.
It
So-
wasn't as bad this year.
And
Even
they,
by us, it wasn't bad.
Mosquitoes haven't been bad this
and
year.
it's.
I don't
we've-
see where there's an
and-
issue.
No, I'm just
Switching our
kind of saying
payments?
it
Yeah.
out, you know.
Pay them same
I don't
amount of
think so.
money.
Yeah, it's
so
same
it's-
thing.
Same, doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay.
Just do it.
Do we need a motion or?
Yeah, you might as well make
Okay.
one.
Make a motion, we pay them quarterly.
All right.
Second it.
Thank you.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I did actually, I read they sent the minutes out for the last 2 meetings today. Most of it was re-electing officers because they had a little turmoil there for a while, and this was brought up in their minutes, but there was nothing really worth, there wasn't much else to it.
Steven still chair?
Yes.
Is he?
So that brings up something that
Which is
Alicia
good.
and I have
I think
talked
that's a
about,
good
because
thing.
Alicia was the second person for.
Yep.
Are you, I know we've talked, like, you don't know if you can still do it. Do you guys want me to?
I was always supposed to just be a placeholder.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if you or if anybody, would you like to do it?
It's not that far for me to go to their meetings because they do them in Brandon.
Yeah.
So I don't mind going. I can certainly talk to Steven and see if he would like some support
Yeah.
too, because it's been kind of contentious lately.
I think he probably would.
Okay. I mean, if you guys want me to do it, I have no problem stepping in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
go
fine.
for it.
Yeah,
Me off the
Yep.
hook.
you're off the hook.
Off the
You're
hook.
gonna be busy.
You're gonna be on the hook. Just be a different hook.
Different
Yeah.
hooks.
Bigger
Yeah,
hook.
bigger hook.
We're gonna
yeah.
come to you and ask for more money now.
We need to make a motion for that though, yes?
Sure, yes.
Yes. I'll make the motion. or-
Okay. Go ahead. Don't wanna step on your toes.
I'll make the motion to abdicate my position on the bug board in lieu of Dave Atherton.
We'll second that.
All in
Bug
favor,
district.
say aye.
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 All right, anything on the orders?
This tax credit refund,
Which one are you looking at, Mark?
9999 Anthony Ryan, 3123.
Oh, is that
Hold on.
homestead stuff? That's gotta be homestead.
Just
That's gotta be real estate tax.
fair amount. Why I'm, that's what I'm
Yeah, it
asking.
was probably, can I find it?
It's on the first page.
Oh, here it is,
one
right
of
here.
6.
Refund tax credit, so that was one of the homestead things, or, what is it called, yeah, the
Yeah,
homestead
the
exemption.
homestead declaration.
So,
Bobber.
they paid and then were refunded. That happens quite a bit throughout the year, actually.
Depends, I think, on your mortgage company,
Yep.
how that ends up working out.
So there was an
but-
overpayment,
Yeah.
Gotcha. Just want to make sure what it was.
yep.
You have anything else? 1025 is entered twice with the same check number. Is that an issue?
Nope, that was probably 2 invoices, repairs and maintenance and supplies. Hold on, I can tell you right now.
Well,
Exact
the
same
numbers
Say they're
below
the same
them
amount paid by the same
I
check.
went to Web, right?
But
Yeah.
two different invoice numbers.
Right, two different invoice numbers.
Well, hold on, I can tell you.
Two different accounts too. One's repairs, one's supplies. It's funny, they're both the
But
exact
I think they,
same.
I think
amount,
they, I
that's
think they
not much.
split a bill they got. That's
Looks
what I
like
think
it.
Oh, that
happened.
makes sense.
That's
Yeah,
what probably
looks like
happened. They couldn't sugar it out and they just cut it in half.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fair. If that's the case.
So who is Sunrise Hollow Landscaping?
It's Josie
That's
Cone.
Josie.
Oh, okay.
So this is for, the two new water meters that we're trying out for, actually they were installed in Tyler and Sean's house. I think we talked about this
Oh,
in the
yep.
meeting. So we bought a couple of those and I think Sean was, actually, no, these might be, I know Sean wanted to replace one up at Omea with one of the new meters, and there was another one that was kind of a high water user that we wanted to get one in because we can read it. It's
Oh.
more,
So are they 2 meters that were billed to 2 separate accounts?
yes. Well, no, 2 meters that were sold separately.
Yeah, but they're billed, why, okay,
I don't-
I'm just
they're
wondering
two
why
different-
one's,
Well, it's two different accounts.
one's repairs and maintenance, one's supplies. They're just
Supplies.
pulling out of 2 accounts to pay for them, is that really what it came down to? Looks like just a decision on that. That's
We,
not a big-
we actually had, a meeting with Webb last Thursday, to talk about, so these new meters, they are, they're read through Wi-Fi, and we've been trying them around to see if we can actually read them everywhere, and they're pulling 100%, but it's going to allow us to look at accounts, like in Ann's office, so if we have an issue with high flows somewhere or something, it's going to alert us.
Okay,
Hoping that it will,
yeah.
and there's no like monthly fees with this. Once we buy it, it's done, which is nice.
Yep,
So it'll give us more detail, and it reads a smaller quantity, where now, the water meter has a little thing that flips in it, and it reads, it's not as accurate as what's coming now. So we're hoping it tightens up our water bills a little bit too. It'll be interesting to see how they work. We have to start replacing stuff anyway, because we have some that
So
are
we're
pretty
testing
old.
to see what the tolerance is.
Yeah.
And then you'll be able to tell us what it looks like for.
And
payback.
they're not, we don't have to drill through people's houses to install them either, which is nice. So they're actually installed inside. There's no outside piece to it, which is nice for some people. So, more to come on it. I'll have to bring you some specs on it so you guys can see them, but it's
Alright,
pretty
yeah.
cool. They're only about like this big. They're really small.
oh, okay.
The fact that it alerts you if somebody's all of a sudden using more water.
Well,
No, that
look
is
at what
good.
we've had that's,
Some of
That's-
these.
I
yeah,
know.
Board of Abatement lately. We've had a lot of those, you
Basement's
know?
filled with water.
Or if someone's gone in the wintertime, you know, and
Breaks. and,
Yeah. Yeah, I was impressed with it, and the company seemed, and they work through Webb, so Troy, who was our rep, they, which we really like, he's a good guy, he's delivered stuff to us free of charge, so, excuse me, we're hoping that they work out fine, because it'd be good. Yeah. So, more to come on that. I'll let you know what our results are from the test that we're doing.
Fabulous. All right, any other questions on orders? Okey-doke.
For me.
Oh. You guys probably want that, don't you?
Yeah, please.
No, we're supposed to.
You want to pay them, we gotta sign them.
Here, I'll just send them all down.
The student transportation of the day camps, is that the summer camp?
Yep, it's all done now.
Sucks.
I agree with you.
Yep. Go to work today, come home today.
All right, well, if there's nothing else, then, I guess, can I get a motion to go in executive in accordance with 1 V.S.A. 313A, where premature general public knowledge would clearly place a municipality or person involved at a substantial disadvantage to discuss labor relation agreements with employees, 1 V.S.A. 313A 1B, to include the town manager, and in accordance with 1 V.S.A. 313A, where premature general public knowledge would clearly place a municipality or person involved at a substantial disadvantage to discuss pending or probable civil litigation or prosecution to which the public body is or may be a party, 1 V.S.A. 313A1E, to include the town manager.
So moved. Make a motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.